Jon, you are undefeated. 1-0. After turning back the challenge of Milwaukee-based sports writer Todd Rosiak last month, Jon, you have a new challenger. Let's meet them now.
This is Jon LaRocca, and I challenge Jon Boucher to a round of Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia.
Jon LaRocca is this month's challenger. Jon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I got involved in wrestling around 1997, just volunteering at All Pro Wrestling in Hayward, California. Just kept my mouth shut and listened and did all that. Took a little bit of a break around 98, a little bit of 99. And then I would pop in here and there. But I came back usually around, I think right after Michael Modest and the crew went to, they started their own pro wrestling iron promotion. And then I came back and was helping out again and started doing commentary, somehow thrust into as a manager, learning how to bump as a manager to eventually, booking All Pro Wrestling and in 2008 to 2012. And then I left APW, started my own little promotion, Premier Wrestling from 2013 to 2016. And then when I closed that up, Marcus Mack ended up buying APW from Roland Pass. He got all the rights to it and stuff. He asked me back to help book APW, so I did that from 2016 to 2019. So, and currently I'm a podcaster on the Fight Game podcast on the Wrestling Observer website. So if you're a subscriber there, you can listen to our show with me and Garrett Gonzalez. So that's what I've been doing lately. So I'm excited to be on this show, though.
Jon Boucher, your challenger, Jon LaRocca, is a man that has worn many hats in professional wrestling, from unpaid intern, which I think describes most of my career in wrestling, to manager, to booker, to promoter, to podcaster, and is currently the host of the weekly Fight Game podcast, which can be found on the Figure 4 Wrestling Observer website. He's your challenger. He's literally done everything in pro wrestling, so he might know his stuff. So, Jon, how are you feeling about this month's challenger?
I've done nothing in pro wrestling, so I'm very, very concerned for myself. This is like the battle of the Johns. I remember in the late 70s, the WWF had the Battle of the Ivans at Madison Square Garden. They had Ivan Putski versus Ivan Koloff match. This is that.
Hopefully our listeners are intrigued by the Battle of the Johns and decide not to take a break and go to the John.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, the time for talking is over, and the time for trivia is here. Jon B., please step into your isolation chamber, and then we will begin.
I got to do some upkeep to this chamber. It's getting a little stinky and smelly in here. Okay.
Well, all right. Jon is sequestered in his isolation chamber. And that means that Jon LaRocca is ready to go. Now, before we begin, I just want to briefly go over the rules once more for our challenger and for our listeners. Both Jon L. and Jon B. will have 20 seconds to answer each question. I will ask Jon L. all 4 questions first, while Jon B. is in the isolation chamber that we built in his home. Jon L. can ask for a hint for one of the first 3 questions only. You must ask for the hint at the time the question is asked, and the 20-second timer will be stopped while the hint is given. And you cannot ask for a hint for the 4th question. So if you haven't used your hint after the first 3 questions are asked, you cannot use it for the 4th. And here's the catch. If you do ask for a hint, Jon B. will automatically be given the same hint for the same question and be given a hint for the 4th question, which is typically either a true, false, or a fill-in-the-blank question. If both Johns answer the same number of questions correctly, we will go to the bonus question for a tiebreaker. So we are ready to begin. Jon L., are you ready?
I am ready.
Excellent. Question number 1, and I will preface this question by saying that while the year 1974 is mentioned in the question, I believe it's actually referring to something that took place in 1976. Additionally, the answer to the question is just the wrestler's name.
Okay.
So the question, what wrestler and his manager reportedly discovered Plowboy Frazier while driving through Mississippi in 1974?
Sam Bass?
That is incorrect.
Oh.
We were looking for the wrestler's name,
Oh, sorry.
which was Jerry Lawler.
Oh, my goodness gracious. How did I mess that up?
And the manager was Sam Bass.
Oh. All right.
Question number 2. What college did Blackjack Mulligan attend?
West Texas State?
That is incorrect.
Oh, my goodness.
The answer was the University of Texas at El Paso.
Oh, my gosh.
I also would have accepted Texas Western College, which was its name when Mulligan attended. They changed the name in 66. Question number 3.
Oh, man.
Which wrestler teamed with Dusty Rhodes to hold the NWA World Tag Team belts from October of 1984 to March of 1985?
The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
That is correct.
Hey.
You have answered one question correctly out of the first 3. Now we're up to question 4. And again, since you chose not to use any hints for the first 3 questions, John won't be getting any hints, but also you cannot use a hint for this question.
Okay.
So question number 4, this is a fill in the blank question.
Okay.
Lateral blank.
Lateral press.
That is correct.
Oof.
All right. Jon LaRocca correctly answered 2 out of 4 questions. I am now going to signal for John to exit the isolation chamber, and we will see how he does. All right, John B., it is now your turn. John L. correctly answered 2 out of 4 questions.
Okay.
So if you get 3 or more correct, you win. If you get 1 or less correct, John L. wins. And if you get 2 correct, then we will go to the bonus question. John L. did not use a hint, so you will not be getting any hints for these questions, and the timer will begin as soon as I finish asking each one.
Okay.
John B., are you ready to play Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia?
I'm ready, baby.
Question number 1. I will preface this question by saying that while the year 1974 is mentioned in the question, I believe this is actually referring to something that took place in 1976. And the answer to the question is just the wrestler's name.
Okay, thank you.
What wrestler and his manager reportedly discovered Plowboy Frazier while driving through Mississippi in 1974?
Oh. Wrestler and his manager, Mississippi, 1974.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Jerry Lawler, Sam Bass?
That is correct. We were looking the answer. As I said at the beginning, the answer is just the wrestler's name.
Sorry.
And you got the wrestler's name, Jerry Lawler. So that is correct.
Fantastic.
1 for 1.
Okay.
Question number 2. What college did Blackjack Mulligan attend?
I don't know. I'm just going to go with West Texas State.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
And that is what Jon LaRocca answered as well. I think the answer was the University of Texas at El Paso. I also would have accepted Texas Western College, which was its name when Mulligan attended. But in 1966, it changed its name to UTEP.
Gotcha.
All right, 1 for 2.
Okay.
Question number 3. Which wrestler teamed with Dusty Rhodes to hold the NWA World Tag Team belts from October of 1984 to March of 1985?
Oh boy. I should know this.
10
All I don't
seconds.
is 10 seconds.
2 seconds.
Magnum TA.
That is incorrect. The answer is Manny Fernandez.
Oh, the Raging Bull.
All right. John L. answered 2 questions correctly. John, you have one question right with one question left.
The pressure is on, baby.
This is a fill-in-the-blank question. Lateral blank.
Lateral press?
That is correct. John B., you answered 2 out of 4 questions correctly, and John L. answered 2 out of 4 questions correctly.
This is drama, baby.
That means it's time for the bonus question. So here are the rules. You will each have 15 seconds to answer the bonus question. The correct answer to the question is a whole number greater than 0. John L. will be asked the question first, and then John B. will be able to choose if he thinks the correct answer is higher or lower than the answer you gave. If John is correct, he wins. If not, you win. And of course, if your guess is exactly correct, then John can't win. Here we go. According to WrestlingData.com, how many wrestling house shows were held at the Cow Palace in the entirety of the Roy Shire Big Time Wrestling era?
I'm going to say 63.
Okay. John LaRocca answered 63. John B., do you think the answer is higher or lower?
I'm going to go higher.
The number of house shows run at the Cow Palace in San Francisco in the entirety of the Roy Shire era was 243.
Whew.
Jon Boucher, you are correct. The answer was higher than John LaRocca's guess. Jon Boucher, you continue your undefeated streak.
Ooh, I am so sweaty.
The Charting the Territories podcast comes out on the second Thursday of every month. To be the first to know when new episodes are available, subscribe now wherever you find your favorite podcasts and at chartingtheterritories.com.